when I got the notification that I was getting a scholarship, it felt like a godsend. It felt like a very empowering moment when you realize that you're getting that aid.
You know, I have 5 brothers, and it's not necessarily feasible for my parents to, like many other families, it's not necessarily feasible for my parents to pay for my education. I would not be where I am today had I not received the scholarships that I received from NJIT.
Getting a scholarship is advancement and opportunity.
Financially, the support made an enormous difference for me. It was the reason why I was able to go to school at NJIT.
When you take the stress off of a student financially, they're able to hone in on their studies, really figure out, take the time to take those extra classes, those clubs, understand what about them is going to be successful.
I have 2 sisters. I'm the 3rd one. We're all in the medical path, so school is very, very expensive because it's undergrad, med school. Getting a scholarship from NJIT, because I'm here on scholarship, has made all the difference.
A pivotal aspect of my decision-making when I was looking at which college to attend was my acceptance at the Albert Dorman Honors College and the financial aid that came with that in the form of academic scholarships.
And I think by participating in something like the Honors College, I think that helps you become who you are.
It's not only just about donating, but it's, the catalyst for actually allowing me to explore and any student to explore and go further. It's really about receiving the opportunity to better oneself.
I think at NJIT you'll really see that students here understand and really appreciate that their effort in being able to go to college wasn't just theirs alone. And I think even beyond just the actual money and the financial support, the intention behind it, the idea that someone not only believes in my vision for my future, but also my ability to achieve my ambitions, I think that intention is priceless.
Giving back and supporting these scholarships and funding them is probably one of the most important things that you can do.
Good morning. On behalf of the entire university community, I'm delighted to welcome all of you to the 32nd Annual Scholarship Brunch. My name is Ken Alexo, and I serve as Vice President for Development and Alumni Relations at New Jersey Institute of Technology. While we would much prefer to have you here with us on campus, we do hope you enjoy today's program, which offers us the opportunity both to celebrate the talent, hard work, and determination of our students, and to recognize the generosity of those benefactors who are supporting them in their pursuit of an NJIT education. During the past decade, NJIT's alumni and friends have collectively given nearly $62 million to establish more than 280 scholarships. For these generous investments in our students and the futures they are creating for themselves, their families, and the rest of us, we could not be more grateful. As I hope you know, it is because of your generous support that NJIT's reputation as one of our nation's leading public polytechnic universities continues to grow. NJIT has been perennially recognized as a top college by the Princeton Review, a designation that only 14% of America's 2,800 four-year colleges have earned. In the first ever rankings of American universities conducted by QS, a global leader in assessing higher ed institutions, NJIT placed 74th overall and 3rd in New Jersey. But what we are most proud of is our #1 national ranking by Forbes for student economic upward mobility. To those of you who have funded scholarships and otherwise supported this great university, we hope you know how much we appreciate your contributions to helping NJIT scale such notable heights. Even more valuable, however, is your exemplary willingness to pay it forward. The outstanding students who are working toward valuable NJIT degrees are here because of you. They are here because you believe in the power of the demanding and in-demand STEM education that NJIT provides. On behalf of these students and the entire university community, I thank you for your leadership, your foresight, your generosity, and for the example that you set for the rest of us. To our scholarship recipients, I congratulate you on your many accomplishments here at NJIT. I also ask that you remember this scholarship brunch after you graduate. I trust that when the time is right, you too will support the students who follow in your footsteps. It is my pleasure to begin this morning's program by introducing NJIT President Dr. Joel Bloom, who will share his thoughts on the importance of scholarships for our students, his gratitude for the donors who create them, and how support for scholarships contributes directly to NJIT's continued growth and development. Here's Dr. Bloom.
So when I came here in 1990, almost 70% of the cost of education to educate a student was paid by the state of New Jersey. And over that time, the state's support to deliver education to our students has now reduced to under 30%. So student tuition and fees obviously began to make up the difference. The scholarship issue is critical, not only because of the historic or decade decline in support from the state, but look at NJIT today. We are a STEM university. We're the state's largest supplier of engineers, and that is a costly education. Engineering education is 60 to 100% more costly. The demand for STEM educated, demand for engineers, for the computer science, far exceeds the supply, far exceeds the supply. We've now have nearly 300 new scholarships. It helps us attract students across the continuum. There are students that have academic credentials that must be at this university. And with the help of Al Dorman and Saul K. Fenster, we began to develop an honors college. When I became the founding dean of the honors college, I think we had about 100 students. Today we got 700 students. We also have something called the Educational Opportunity Program. That's another 600-700 students. And again, giving scholarships to students today engenders that next generation to give back as well when they are in the workplace. We come to the scholarship breakfast. I'm among these students every day, and I sit there at the table and I am blown away. Those students very easily open up and they will tell you the difference that your scholarship dollars make in their life here at NJIT. They're not consumed with debt. They're not consumed with overtaxing their parents. They are not necessarily consumed with getting a job that's going to require them to work 20 hours or more a week, which we know leads them down a path that they may not complete. So we have always been attentive to making sure we have this beautiful diversity of students on this campus. We have student athletes who come from around the state, around the nation, and occasionally internationally, who again have helped us as we've gotten more visibility, more competitive, and to create an environment that is attractive to students who want to come to a school with some campus life. I have the good fortune, because I travel and ask people for money, of meeting amazingly successful alums. And very often they approach us before we even approach them about giving back. But I am telling you, it is personal. It is very personal, and these people have worked very hard for that money for which they're writing a check. They know that's why they're able to write those checks to begin with. Think about where you are, the quality of life you get to enjoy, where you came from, and how you can now pay it forward, how you can give back, how you can continue to support the critical disciplines that NJIT has. Scholarships change lives of our students and their families and the society of the future. They are life-changing. That's what you do when you give us support for our scholarships.
At NJIT, the alums have a real commitment to give back, because we realized when NJIT provided us with an opportunity and we have an obligation to give that back.
I always said, as I was growing my business, that I want to make sure somebody else has the same opportunity I had. And if that was through scholarship giving, if that was through mentoring, if that was through volunteering, I was always going to give back.
I grew up about 15 miles from the college. I was working full-time at night at a hospital to help the family with finances. I don't recommend that. I don't think that's the best for students. I don't think the student gets the most out of their education that way. And if I can in some way help someone so they don't have to have that type of predicament to gain an education, I'm happy about it.
The stellar donor, of course, is Albert Dorman, and he is the namesake for the Honors College. Why did he give to NJIT? And it's because he saw that at NJIT, his dollars would really make the biggest difference.
Dr. Saul Fenster sat in this very chair, and he said that my vision of the college is to make it a place where overlooked young people can go. Well, that struck a real note for me. And that's how the Honors College started, right in this very room.
One of the things I stress at every student gathering is reminding them that they're here because of the alums. And when you're an alum, remember that. You have a debt. That's how we all got to be where we are.
My grandfather graduated from NJIT in 1951. NJIT gave him opportunity, and he grew up very poor with many siblings, and suddenly he was in a place where he had the resources to really grow himself as a person. And when it came time to give back to the university, it was just a no-brainer for them.
NJIT has been so instrumental in fulfilling my family's dreams, fulfilling my dreams, fulfilling my father's dreams. And I see that today there are other students coming to NJIT who have those types of dreams. So the fact that we have the opportunity now to share this with others is just so rewarding.
I was late for a meeting. It was a design meeting with the owner. And when my name was mentioned, this engineer associate said, "Mr. Caleo," he said, I don't know if you remember me, but I was a recipient of one of your scholarships in school. And that made me just feel, very fantastic, very warm about that, to know that it helped somebody in a very meaningful way.
You look at these students and you listen to what they say and you listen to how they talk to you, and you walk away and you think you've done something well.
You educate a mind, you've created life. People can earn a living. People can do what they need to do. They can take care of their family.
Had it not been for the education I received at NJIT, I wouldn't be sitting here doing this interview and talking about the importance of giving back.
It is now my honor to introduce today's keynote speaker, Norma J. Clayton, a member of the NJIT class of 1981 and currently one of the vice chairs of the NJIT Board of Trustees. Norma is recently retired as Vice President for Learning, Training, and Development at the Boeing Company. Prior to this role, she led a number of important assignments at the company, including a global sourcing initiative to increase growth and productivity. She has also held leadership roles within Boeing Defense, Space, and Security, as Vice President of Supplier Management and Procurement, and as Vice President and General Manager of the Maintenance and Modification Centers. Before joining Boeing, Norma held leadership roles at other Fortune 500 companies, including Lockheed Martin, General Electric, RCA, and General Motors. After completing her bachelor's degree in industrial administration at NJIT, Norma earned a master's degree in business management and human resource development from Webster University. Norma's philanthropic support of NJIT has been both exemplary and inspirational. In 2020, she established the Norma J. Clayton 81 Learning Center, located in the Central King Building. This magnanimous gift reflects Norma's strong desire to support students who have the courage to pursue a degree in STEM. She has also given generously to our Educational Opportunity Program and our General Scholarship Endowment, and has established a scholarship in loving memory of her mother. In addition to her volunteer service and support for NJIT, she is chair of the board at Tuskegee University and is a member of Leadership America, the American Society of Industrial Engineers, and the National Association of African Americans in Human Resources. Please join me in giving a warm Highlander welcome to Norma Clayton.
Thank you, Ken. Good afternoon, everyone. I am honored to be with you this afternoon. Today is a special day because each of us is gathered to thank our donors and to pay tribute to you, our students, on being the recipients of scholarships in support of your educational needs. It is also a special day because each of us on this call continues to say yes to our students. We can say yes to their hopes and dreams, yes to their families who are working hard to support their needs, yes to forever changing their lives, yes to building a better community for all, and yes to employers because we are delivering on the promise of bringing forth the next generation of leaders, teachers, inventors, researchers, entrepreneurs, scholars, and philanthropists. This day is very special to me because it was not long ago that NJIT said yes to a little girl who grew up less than 2 miles from this campus. I'd like to share a little bit about my story and the reason behind the Jacqueline V. Brown Scholarship. I was raised in the Pennington Court Housing Project, right in the heart of the Ironbound. It was there that my 6 siblings and I received our primary and secondary education. It is a place that, even today, is still home. It is where my roots are. It is what grounds and reminds me to keep doing this important work. Our neighborhood was, and still is, an eclectic mix of immigrants, cultures, and religions: Portuguese, Italian, Latinx, German, and Jewish. People who ventured from faraway places, all seeking a better life for themselves and their families. As an African American family, we were no different. My mother, Jacqueline V. Brown, was my first teacher, biggest critic, and most important role model. She moved to Newark from Philadelphia shortly after her marriage to begin a new life and raise a family. Unfortunately, the marriage didn't work, and she found herself alone to raise her 7 children. My mother was tough. She was not one to wallow in self-pity. She believed you could do anything if you put your mind to it. She demanded our very best, both in school, our chores, or with any special assignment she gave us. She believed in education and viewed it as the great equalizer resting at the nexus between upward mobility and economic wealth. She would often tell us, "Where you are is temporary. Don't get comfortable or attached because you won't be here very long. Instead, go into the world, do your best, then come back and make a difference in this community. Never forget where you came from." Her goal was to move us from the Ironbound to the suburbs to give us a better education and better start at life. My mom became so focused. She attended night classes to advance her own education and job skills. She worked part-time as a bookkeeper and eventually landed a job on Wall Street in the banking industry, where she remained until she retired many years later. As young children, it was instilled within us that we would go to college. While getting a job was important, my mom believed a college education would take us much further. Imagine, all 7 children were expected to go to college, not sure how we would pay for it, but the seeds were planted. A few years later, we were on the move, out of the city and on to our next home in Orange, New Jersey. Mom loved learning, any and everything. She loved classical music, and most of all, she loved reading. While most kids had TV growing up, our home was filled with books, newspapers, and the radio, not for listening to pop music, but to study the classics. Our Sunday afternoons were spent reading assigned articles from the New York Times, then sharing what we read. You couldn't fool her by making up the story because she never assigned anything she hadn't previously read. She never accepted excuses, and the words quit and failure were never uttered in our home. Nothing was more important than learning and giving back to others. In fact, she would often take us back to our old neighborhood to help others in need and allow us to see how far we'd come. It was a great motivator then and still is today. One by one, my siblings went off to college, then graduate school, religious seminary, and law school. They all did well, fulfilled the promise, and continue to give back through philanthropy and sweat equity, all aimed at improving the lives of others. And then there was me. I applied and was accepted to several STEM universities. As the acceptance letters rolled in, it became obvious the cost to attend was prohibitive. I had worked hard in high school, received a few scholarships, but it wasn't enough. I was crushed. When I finally received the last letter, which was from NJIT, I didn't want to open it for fear that either my test scores weren't good enough or the total cost to attend would be too high. To my surprise, not only was I accepted, but there were scholarships, tutoring services, federal aid, work study, housing, and a 6-week in-residence summer program for students, all wrapped up in a single program called the Educational Opportunity Program, which none of the other schools offered. I was astonished. I remember standing in the living room in tears thinking, I am going to attend a prestigious school and get the support I need to achieve my goals. That was a moment I will never forget. I recall my mother telling me, to whom much is given, much is required. I realized that the journey would be much bigger than me. I had a responsibility to do my part and to encourage others. I challenge you to do the same. Today, more than 90% of NJIT students receive some form of financial aid. 69% of all NJIT undergraduate students have federally defined financial needs. Our alumni giving rate last year was 10.4%, as compared to the national average for public universities at 5%. So while we're making progress, there is so much more we can do. Looking back, the first time I stepped on campus, I was literally in shock. Very few people looked like me, not even my roommate. Imagine, I grew up in this city where lots of people look like me, yet I step on this campus and no one looks like me. I was scared, lost at times, and even questioned whether I'd fit in. However, the support I received from my professors, counselors, and TAs led me to believe I was good enough and I could do anything. After 5 years, I graduated and went to work in the corporate sector, landing numerous executive and C-suite jobs in Fortune 500 companies. Through it all, I never lost my connection with NJIT or the city of Newark. The city of Newark gave me my roots, and NJIT gave me my wings to take flight, but never forgetting where I came from and always remembering to give back. So, I have and will continue to say yes to NJIT students and to this community. I will always say yes to the vision and values imparted in me by Jacqueline V. Brown, whose love of education, learning, and philanthropy has transcended to her children, grand and great-grandchildren. And I will always say yes to my alma mater, who always said yes to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Norma, for sharing your inspiring story with us today. It is now my privilege to introduce you to a few NJIT students who not only boast outstanding records of academic achievement, but are also models of leadership and commitment beyond the classroom. These three students are members of NJIT's Albert Dorman Honors College, which is celebrating its 25th anniversary this year. As many of you know, Al and Joan Dorman have been foundational supporters of NJIT for many years. A 1945 graduate of Newark College of Engineering, who went on to become the founding chairman and first CEO of engineering giant AECOM, Al has been a generous donor, mentor, and role model. He and his wife Joan provided the transformational gift that established the Honors College back in 1995, and they continue to be among the most visionary and supportive friends of this university. Indeed, Al and Joan, together with their children, Laura, Ken, and Richard, have established 3 awards that recognize the next generation of leaders and scholars. As a special capstone to the 25th anniversary of the Albert Dorman Honors College, 2 of these awards are being presented this year for the first time ever.
This year's recipient of the Albert Dorman Future Leader Award is Owen Bussler. A senior majoring in electrical engineering with a minor in computer science, Owen has written for The Vector, worked as an RA in the Honors Dorm, and served on the Honors Hall Council. He's also represented electrical engineering on the NJIT Student Senate. Outside of NJIT, Owen has mentored high school robotics teams and refereed their competitions. After graduation this spring, Owen will join Audible as a software engineer in July. This year's recipient for the Joan Dorman Prize in Community Education and Development is Paul Boson. After serving in the military, Paul enrolled in NJIT's combined BS-MBA program, majoring in concrete industry management. Among his many activities, Paul has served as vice president of NJIT's Veteran Students Organization and participated in the Honors College Civic Leadership and Engagement track. He's also volunteered with Newark Kids Code, the Sergeant Audie Murphy Organization, and the Fisher House Foundation charities. After graduation this spring, Paul will be attending law school to study environmental law with a concentration in mineral litigation. This year's recipient of the Dorman Honor Scholars Exceptional Service Award is Laura Gould. A senior majoring in architecture, Laura is vice president of NJIT's American Institute of Architecture students and a leader of NJIT Green, which advances sustainable policies on campus. Laura also co-founded Project NJ, which has donated over 5,000 masks and face shields to organizations across New Jersey. Outside of NJIT, she has volunteered at local homeless shelters, soup kitchens, and food banks. After graduation this spring, Laura will pursue an advanced degree in urban planning with a focus on environmental sustainability.
Congratulations again to Owen, Paul, and Laura. Their achievements, both in and outside the classroom, are impressive and inspiring, and they are representative of the kind of dedication and commitment that define the type of student who decides to pursue a rigorous NJIT education.
I think the culture of this university is immensely welcoming of the diverse backgrounds that we see.
I chose NJIT because I knew that I was headed on a path to medical school.
I wanted to find a school that had the correct balance in between really rigorous academics, but also really high and competitive athletic level.
People of NJIT are very hardworking, and everybody here has a story of their own.
I think that I chose NJIT because of all the research opportunities that they have in their biomedical department, and it made me realize that they're actually making a difference. Most transplants that happen now fail due to incompatibility, rejection in the body. So I'd love to be able to work somewhere where we can take cells from the person who's being operated on and actually grow the organ for them so that there's no chance of rejection.
The main reason I chose NJIT is for the great engineering department that they have here. Now, I was getting recruited for soccer at the time, and NJIT popped up on my radar, and I found out their civil department is out of this world. So whether we're in a construction materials lab or a soils lab or a fluid mechanics lab, our professors have had experience in the field. I developed a passion into construction and into civil engineering, all the facets that it can take. And NJIT has kind of honed that into a professional degree. And through networking and through, applying for random internships, now I'm working in the Empire State Building. So, wow, Also, I've come to find out just how global the school is, just within our athletic department alone. I can sit in a room with people from 5 different parts of this world who grew up with 5 different religions and kind of grow by learning about one another's backgrounds.
Overall, I think the best part of NJIT is the people and people I've met so far. When I was picking my major, I chose electrical engineering. For me, the pleasure and rewards was always to create things and build things and help design things that would help improve things in society.
What engineering taught me is that I don't just have to study the world, I can actually change it. And so that mindset is what I hope to take away and merge with entrepreneurship, with tech and CS, so that I can work to create real change in healthcare. The biomedical engineering department's Capstone Projects are some of the most accurate representations of what it's like to work in industry. Our Capstone Project was building a robotic arm exoskeletal support for patients who have any sort of musculoskeletal disorder that weakens their arm without paralyzing it. This sense when you want to flex your muscle and provide force and actuation to run.
I plan on going to Columbia's Accelerated Nursing Program next May, then specifying into their Doctoral of Nurse Practitioner program that specifies in pediatrics. I really want to help kids. Every single part of my personality caters to what this job entails. Coming to NJIT and having to balance both academics and athletics just really made me grow as a person in so many ways. I mean, I've been captain of the women's soccer team. I've had to learn how to balance being on the road and studying for exams. And I really think that NJIT fostered that success for me. The scholarships that I received were very helpful in moving forward with my education and being able to do that successfully, both athletically and academically.
The scholarship, that definitely did help. The money that I received definitely did help me do well in college and not worry too much about money.
I'm actually a first-generation college student, and luckily I was able to join the Educational Opportunity Program, where they gave me kind of an academic boot camp and they helped me go through all the financial aid aspects that I need, and I actually have an advisor for that. So financial aid has definitely saved me here and kept me in school at NJIT.
The Honors College has been very, very supportive because I've been involved in so many different organizations and started so many projects and worked on so many things that would not have been possible had I not met the kind of people that were at the Honors College and at NJIT. The scholarship, for me, has taken so much of that burden off, because what I know is that if I'm free from this financial burden, I can choose the path that I want to take. What is very, very important for me to be able to repay the gifts that I've been given.
I'm very, very fortunate in my life to be in a position to, have the support that I do, and I plan on paying it forward.
So it's kind of like, like a little circle, you invest in NJIT, the kids do well, they come back, they also invest, and it's just a cycle, so it would be a great investment.
And I can definitely see myself giving back to other student athletes that might be in my shoes in the future.
I think that supporting NJIT as an institution is supporting the future leaders of America, honestly. All of our researchers, all of our scientists, our mathematicians, that's what our entire country is built on. And right here at NJIT, you really have the best of the best.
It is now my great pleasure to introduce today's Scholarship Brunch student speaker, Charu Arya. Complementing her work in the classroom and the lab, Charu has been an engaged member of the NJIT community, serving as president of the Fraternity and Sorority Life Council and as an active member of her sorority, Delta Phi Epsilon Sorority, Beta Eta Chapter. In addition, she founded and currently serves as president of Minds Matter a student-run organization that is dedicated to the education and destigmatization of mental health on campus. Please join me in welcoming Charu.
Ladies and gentlemen, as the daughter of 2 immigrants, the value of hard work was instilled in me from a very young age. I was brought up with the ideology that doing anything was worth doing correctly. It was this philosophy that propelled me to throw myself into my academics. My family and I faced several hardships, and despite this, my parents continuously encouraged and supported me in whatever ways they could. I brought the values my parents instilled in me to everything I did, including being a role model to my 2 younger brothers. It was through my involvement in my high school robotics team that I first heard of NJIT. Several former students were Highlanders and came back to mentor our team. It was largely due to their encouragement that I decided to apply to NJIT and the Albert Dorman Honors College. This small action had a monumental impact on the trajectory of my life, a butterfly effect, if you will. I was accepted to the 7-year medical program and the Albert Dorman Honors College at NJIT with a generous scholarship and had an immense amount of support and numerous opportunities thrown my way. During my sophomore year, I struggled to decide if I was passionate enough about medicine to do it for the rest of my life. I am thankful that I had the support of several advisors who helped guide me during that difficult time, and I decided to pursue my interests in business and forensic science. The biology and forensic science departments were truly remarkable in helping me navigate this transition and positively impacted my education with their support both in and out of the classroom. During my freshman year, I joined the Delta Phi Epsilon sorority and found a group of empowering and diverse women who shared my commitment to community service. They helped me grow both personally and professionally and supported all of my endeavors. Our philanthropic efforts towards the National Association of Anorexia Nervosa and Associated Disorders inspired me to focus more on educating college students about the impact of their mental health. With this focus, my peers and I were able to establish NJIT's first student-run organization advocating for mental health, Minds Matter. I have personally seen how advocating for mental health has created a more positive campus culture. Dr. Bowling, our advisor and the director of the Center for Counseling and Psychological Services, along with several faculty, have been monumental in helping our mission. During my junior year, I became more involved in the fraternity and sorority life community and even became a resident assistant in the Greek village. This experience allowed me to explore who I was and find my home away from home. I have been able to form lifelong friendships that have only gotten stronger and, I believe, will last a lifetime. I will be graduating this May with a dual degree in biology and forensic science with a concentration in neurobiology and a minor in business. Afterwards, I will be pursuing my MBA and hope to work in the pharmaceutical industry after graduation. Ultimately, I would like to be the CEO of my own company, working to bridge the gap between science and the community. All of this would not have been possible without your financial support. Your generosity, commitment, and dedication allowed me to overcome many obstacles and positively impact the lives of so many others. Knowing that there's always someone willing to help you navigate through the tough times and cheer your successes provides hope for myself and students like me. I am grateful that I am able to share my experience with you here today. Receiving a scholarship allowed me to focus on my academics and become involved in the campus community instead of worrying about how I would pay for my education. For this, I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
I just want to say thank you and say how much I really appreciate being one of the recipients for the PSNS scholarship this year.
Thank you for all the opportunities and experiences you've allowed me to have.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to continue my athletic and academic careers at NJIT.
Thank you for helping me start my career at NJIT.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving me the freedom to choose my own path.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to learn.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to attend NJIT.
Thank you for helping me realize my dreams.
I want to say thank you very much, and I appreciate the scholarship and this opportunity that I was able to get.
Thank you for the generous scholarship.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for making my dreams possible.
Thank you for helping me achieve my goals. I wouldn't be here without your support.
Thank you so much for joining us for today's program. For those of you who will stay with us online to meet the recipients of the scholarships that you have so generously established, we will be redirecting you shortly. To those who will be getting back to your busy day, we appreciate your spending time with us this morning. Stay well, stay safe, and thank you for supporting NJIT.